Because you clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you're struggling with one or more of these performance anxiety nightmares. Sweating profusely, shaking hands and feet, racing heart, negative thoughts, the fear of memory slips, and that terrifying moment when you just don't know the notes to play, the concern that people will judge you if you make mistakes. If these struggles sound familiar, this video is for you. I'm about to share my exact strategies that took me from walking off stage in the middle of my piece and giving up on performing to winning competitions, performing at Carnegie Hall and international piano conventions. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete toolkit to conquer performance anxiety. I'd like to start by sharing some of my own struggles with performance anxiety because I think it will give you hope. I grew up watching my mom as a concert pianist perform with symphonies all over the world, and I wanted to be just like her. I found quickly that performing wasn't my cup of tea. I had extreme physical symptoms when I would perform for just one or two people, like really bad shaking hands and debilitating thoughts. I had some pretty awful performing experiences growing up, but this one recital topped them all. I was playing a piece that I thought I knew forwards and backwards for a fairly large audience. And once I got on stage, my hands and feet were shaking uncontrollably. And I had a bad memory slip. And I went back to the beginning and I got stuck in the same place. And I tried it a few times and I couldn't make it through the piece. So I just walked off stage. It was so traumatic that I decided I would never perform again. And it was several years before I entertained the idea of playing for anyone again. I'm excited to share that I've had some amazingly successful experiences performing since that bad recital. Now I perform as a soloist occasionally, and I perform with my mom as a duo. The strategies that I'm going to share today are what made this transformation possible. My first tip is strategic preparation. Get to know your piece thoroughly. If you plan to play from memory, I highly recommend memorizing hands separately and hands together. I have my students do this and it really boosts their confidence. We often don't know what the left hand notes are because it usually doesn't carry the melody. So taking the time to memorize your left hand separately will really help you to learn your piece a lot more solidly. I also recommend analyzing your piece visually. So mark the key signatures, the chords, any patterns that you see, sequences, repetition, and this will help you memorize your piece more easily and also give you a lot more confidence. Tip number 2 is emergency starting spots. Mark some strategic places in your music that you can start at, preferably at the beginning of phrases, and then practice being able to start at each of those spots out of order. So I quiz myself by playing them backwards, and sometimes I practice the even numbers and then the odd numbers. Taking time to practice like this will help you overcome that terrifying fear of memory slips. Instead of panicking when you lose your place, you'll know exactly where to jump to. It's like having emergency exits in a building. You hope you never have to use them, but at least they're there. Just a quick pause to remind you to hit the like button if you're getting value, and consider sharing this if you know of someone that could benefit from hearing this information. Tip number 3 is performance practice. Practice playing for people before your big event to simulate real performing conditions. So you could try playing for your family and friends, but I recommend performing at retirement homes because the residents are incredibly appreciative. I performed a solo recital a few years ago, and it was an hour-long recital. And I went and performed at about 4 or 5 different retirement homes to prepare for it. And it was so helpful because it helped me identify the weak points in my pieces. And then I had time to work through those before the big day. And it also boosted my confidence because I felt the adrenaline and I was able to play through it and experience success. Tip number 4 is visualize success. At least a few weeks before your big event, it's important to spend time each day visualizing yourself performing successfully. So picture yourself walking on stage, performing beautifully, and receiving applause. This is such an important mental rehearsal because it rewires your brain to expect success instead of disaster. Tip number 5 is mindful listening. Performing can feel like an out-of-body experience, especially if you're a soloist. You can overcome this problem by actively listening to yourself. So focus on the dynamics and the phrasing and the musical details. This will help you stay present and connected to the music instead of lost in anxiety. Tip number 6 is strategic practice on performance day. On performance day, avoid overplaying your piece. Usually our nerves create a lot of self-doubt on performance day. You may even decide to not play your piece at all. If you need to warm up your fingers right before you're going to play, then I recommend warming up with some scales. If you do decide to play your piece on performance day, practice with the music slowly and focus on accuracy. Tip number 7 is breathing and mindfulness techniques. The minutes right before a performance are often the worst. So I like to use apps like Headspace and Calm for quick meditations. But if you're in the audience or you don't have access to meditations, make sure you're doing some deep belly breathing and continuing to visualize success. This next tip is the primary reason that I was able to get back into performing: beta blockers. So I take propranolol about 30 minutes before I'm going to perform, and it slows my heart rate a little and it controls the shaking. And so I feel in control of my playing when I take it. And that helps me mentally too, because if I don't have physical symptoms, then I feel more confident mentally. So I don't want to encourage drug use, but if you have to perform and you struggle with debilitating physical symptoms, then talk to your doctor, because there's a lot of musicians that take beta blockers. Just be careful about the dosage, because taking too much can slow your fingers and make fast passages difficult. Performance anxiety doesn't have to stop you from sharing your musical gifts. It can actually make you a more resilient, prepared musician. I just scratched the surface on memorizing tips in this video. If you want to go deeper and learn how to memorize quickly and more long-term, then watch this next video of mine. Let me know in the comments which tips from today's video resonated most with you in your performance anxiety struggles. I love to hear from you.